Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's me, Max, hosting the Black Jersey, and today I am covering the first test between South Africa and the British and Irish Lions. It was really a game of two halves, and it eventually came down, I think, to the referee's whistle. I've obviously said that Nick Berry isn't the best referee in the past, but hey, sometimes you just get a bad ref, and luckily Ben O'Keefe is going to be there to save the day. So I woke up at 3:45 AM to watch the game, but it was well worth it. As I said, it was a very tight game. Now this game was very dominant from the Springboks in the first half, whereas the Lions got a lot more possession in the second half. I can't wait to break down this test to you guys, so if you're new here, make sure to get down and give a subscribe and a like. So as I said at the beginning of the video, the first half was very much in the Springboks' favour. Handré Pollard was out there for his 50th test, and Pollard was able to kick 4 from 5, including a 42-metre penalty, which led to a 12-3 halftime score. So it was quite a big score for the Boks, and the Lions did not look like scoring at all. The Lions are actually having quite a lot of trouble retaining possession. Dan Biggar, I think, was awful in the first half. He was kicking away a lot of possession, but he really made up for it in the second half and played a lot more sensibly, even though in the first half he was really trying to do his best imitation of Beauden Barrett. Rory Sutherland as well, I was not very impressed with him. The Bok front row just demolished the guy at scrum time, and once Marco Vunipola came on in the second half, the Lions scrum was looking a lot more settled, and I think Vunipola did a really good job at smashing up Trevor Enyakane, and he also did a really good job at smashing up Frans Malherbe. So those tight head props will be going into the second test a bit lower in terms of their confidence. I do think the hookers weren't throwing to their best, but I do think they were alright during the game, especially Bongi Mbonambi. He's just world class, as I've said so many times on this channel before. The locks were perhaps one of the shining lights of the team. I think Alan Wynne-Jones did quite good to come back from that dislocated shoulder and captain the team. Eben Etzebeth, he was looking very strong. Not a lot came to Franco Moster, but you know, every game can't just be world class, and Maro Itoje is currently leading the votes for Man of the Match over on Instagram, and he also received the official award for Man of the Match after his great performance at the breakdown, even though a lot of Bok fans are saying this guy was off his feet most of the time. No, he wasn't. The ref also disallowed a try quite late in the game for the Springboks, and I disagreed with that because I don't actually think Cheslin Colby knocked on there either. So I'm not sure what Nick Berry was taking. Pieter-Steph du Toit as well was a bright shining light for South Africa. He by far outmuscled Tom Curry. Tom Curry looked very sloppy, and Hamish Watson definitely should have started over Tom Curry. Tom Curry gave away half of his team's penalties, and even though he's played 34 tests now, the guy is still a bit raw to be starting for the British and Irish Lions, I must say. Kwagga Smith as well isn't Duane Vermeulen. Duane Vermeulen's probably not going to play in the second or third test because of his injury, and Smith just does not have that same impact around the field. Yes, he's a good analyst, but he doesn't have the size and physicality and just the brute force of Vermeulen. Ali Price and Faf de Klerk looked fairly matched at halfback, but Price definitely kept his discipline going much better than Faf de Klerk, and I'm not a big fan of de Klerk because he is a bit nippy, but he actually did really good with his passing, so you really can't complain about some great passing from a halfback. As I've said, Handré Pollard was great. Dan Biggar could improve for the next one. Dan Biggar, though, did come off with about 14 minutes to go. It's not said whether or not he passed his HIA, so fingers crossed Biggar's going to be okay for the next test. Lucanio Arm as well, what a game from midfield. He made a huge hit to open the game up, and I thought that was really awesome. His namesake Luke Cowan-Dickie was the opening scorer. Now to me as well, the wingers didn't really get involved too much. Makazole Mapimpi and Cheslin Colby did not get a lot of ball. Anthony Watson did not get a lot of ball. Duhan van der Merwe did really shine to me with his defence, but he was replaced by Liam Williams with 10 to go. I'd personally like to see Liam Williams coming in at fullback for Stuart Hogg, because I think Hogg was just so shocking under the high ball, and I think he had a hard time with his kicking and his defence. Hogg did look quite suspect to me, and so I'm suspecting as well that Hogg is perhaps coming out of the prime of his career. I also think the Lions midfield of Henshaw and Daly really failed to fire. I think that Henshaw was a great crash ball option for Gatland to pick, whereas he was obviously going for Daly to get a bit more of that distribution, but I think Daly's defence was incredibly poor. His ball handling wasn't really all there. When he did make the kick at goal from 50 metres, he missed that as well, so that's not going in his favour. If Dan Bigg is fit to play, maybe it's best to have Owen Farrell at 12, but as the goal kicker, whereas Henshaw could be a 13. I think not only did the ref have a huge impact on the game, but it also came down to who is going to take the opportunities. Faf de Klerk with his try in the 49th minute was a real example of that. And I think in the second half as well, South Africa's bench perhaps weren't really into it. They saw their starting 15 do such a good job in the first half, and they looked as if they weren't sure if they were going to live up to that standard. Whereas the Lions bench, they came on, they really raised the bar. Courtney Laws improved quite a lot in the second half as well. Courtney Laws, because Warren Gatland wanted Jack Conan to float wide as a wide receiving number 8, was a great option to bring in as that third line-out jumper. He really made it his all to smash Pieter-Steph du Toit in terms of jumping, and Laws is also very effective around the field in the second half. I think the Lions got a lot more running of the ball going in the second half. They weren't kicking away possession like, Beauden Barrett, and not only that, but they were holding onto the ball and they weren't letting South Africa get so many turnovers. Sia Khaleesi, in his return from the virus, made quite a few turnovers. So did Pieter-Steph du Toit, so did Quagga Smith. The Springbok forwards did not let up in that first half when they were over the breakdown. The Lions just hammered players into that breakdown to just keep the ball flowing in the second half, and it really showed that they were working far harder in that second half. As I've said before, I still do think the Lions are going to win this test series 2-1, and I might have to put some money on it now because the final score for this game was 22-17, and I think a lot of Springbok fans are going to be quite hyped for the second test because an angry Springbok team, you don't want to face one of those. Thank you so much for watching the channel as well, guys. I'm incredibly tired, as you can probably tell from bags under my eyes, so I'm going to head off, I'm going to edit this video, and then I'm going to get some much needed sleep. It was a great test, and I can't wait for the second and third. I'll see you guys later.